Hey people, welcome to the channel, and this is going to be a video about how you protect yourself from inflation. This is maybe the topic I get asked about the most, given my background. I started writing about economic survival and preparedness over 20 years ago. I wrote my first book about such a thing, surviving the economic collapse, based on my experience of going through such a thing in Argentina. And it is, according to you folks, the best book in the topic. It is available in Amazon. It has over 1,000 reviews. And yeah, it's going to be available following the links below if you want to read and learn more about this stuff. You will also find the link for Augusta Precious Metals. I don't add links lightly to my channel. I do it after a lot of research, and it's going to be mostly because of this. It is the best rated gold IRA company, and specifically the thing I like the most is it is the one that has the best customer satisfaction. So that's something that I definitely do appreciate. If you want to contact the folks from Augusta, again, the link will be there, and you will have their web. There's no compromise whatsoever, completely free to get advice from them. You have the resource there, and I suggest you do talk with them. They're going to advise you regarding what gold IRAs are, and if that's something you want to consider further. What is it that comes down to with this, right? Summarizing so many years of so much content and writing about economic collapse and how you prepare for this, it comes down to this. It is a very simple graphic, and it's inflation. This is inflation in Argentina, right? This is what I went through. This is what millions of us went through. Yeah, it's very interesting. Hyperinflation, 1989, right? That was bad. This is the economic collapse of Argentina, 2001. We didn't lose a government here. We did here. This is the country defaulting on its national debt, unable to make any payments on the massive debt that it had accumulated. There was also an institutional crisis. You saw the loss of currency. The fiat currency, the Argentine peso, lost 75% of its value within just a matter of hours, really. The president resigned, and within 24 hours, we went through two different presidents, because the vice president that assumed immediately resigned as well. And we went through 5 different presidents in less than 2 weeks. So it's an economic collapse, a social, a political, and in many ways cultural collapse as well, because even now, over 20 years later, it's still affecting us all. And this is what I see happening. Maybe not exactly the same. I mean, certainly not the exact same way it went in Argentina. There's going to be differences, especially if you are in the United States. I don't see the U.S. government falling anytime soon. I don't see the government collapsing in the United States. I see it, in fact, getting bigger. Now, is that better? Maybe not so much. Maybe there's things that you don't want have a big brother type of government, getting bigger and more powerful. But this is definitely happening. Inflation is definitely happening, not only it is all over the world. What I'm really worried about is that this is intentional in many ways. This is a process that is planned by not any one of us. This is something that is benefiting the very top, the creme de la creme of the people that make these decisions. It's maybe not going to be as accelerated as in the case of Argentina, but it's definitely happening. And this is having a massive impact. We saw things that are very concerning. The widespread looting, anarchy, and civil unrest, people desperate. How is it that you protect yourself from all of this? Well, the advice is you put eggs in different baskets. And before I go any further, I cannot possibly give you any kind of specific financial advice, right? I just cannot, because I don't know your personal circumstances. It's going to be on you. It's going to be on you using the different resources that you have available, the things that I'm mentioning here in my channel in this video. And then you talk with your significant other, your spouse, your wife, your husband, your family, your financial advisor, certainly, and then make a decision yourself. That's key. That's very important. It's going to be up to you to make the decision that works best for you. I went to the dentist about 10 years ago. Tooth, okay, yeah, you need that thing pulled. Yeah, you need to have that tooth pulled right now. Right now, you need to have it pulled, and an implant. Okay, that sucks, man. Yeah. I'm not a dentist. What do I know? Well, I know that it's my tooth, and that decision, as I'm just telling you, is going to be on me. I went to another dentist, and he told me, I can fix this. This is repairable. You don't need to have your tooth pulled. Okay, that actually sounds a lot better. Yeah, let's go with that. I still have that tooth in the back of my mouth right now as I speak, right? And the same thing happened in a number of different occasions with health-related issues, with other issues, with stuff like this. It is going to be on you to make the decision. So the advice I have here in terms of how you may want to consider going about it is get your eggs in different baskets. That's usually the way in which you stay protected from inflation. And there's going to be some more traditional assets, and there's going to be harder assets in terms of traditional shelter for inflation. And yes, it's going to be one of those. It's definitely going to be precious metals. So that's definitely what you want to consider. That's why I talk about this all the time. That's why I partnered with the good folks from Augusta. And that's something you definitely want to have a conversation with. Especially because it's something that, at least for me, being completely honest, I mean, I'm Argentine. Do you know how many tools such as those you have available in it? None. It doesn't exist. This is one of those typical cases in which you have the American exceptionalism. You have things that are available to things that are not available to people elsewhere. So you diversify, right? And it's going to be including a very broad spectrum of options. Maybe one of the things that for people that are just getting started, well, especially in the preparedness world, you buy a lot of food. You buy a ton of food, right? That's something that you're going to be using no matter what. So if my fiat currency is going to lose 30, 50, 70% of its value within hours, I will buy the things I need right now immediately. I will stock up on the food. I will stock up on the other tools, things I need right now, because it's going to be more expensive later. You will have some cash, yes, some emergency cash. In our case, in Argentina, what people wanted was US dollars, because unlike the Argentine peso, it was not melting within hours, right? Within days, you lost most of your savings if it was in Argentine pesos, right? That's one of the options you have with diversifying other currencies, precious metals, other traditional assets that you include in your portfolio. And the bigger it is, the more things you have to consider, and that's where you have to do your research, talk with different people, and find something that works for you. The thing I always keep in the back of my mind is I want to be protected, right? I want to have as many options available, because I don't know what's going to be hit the most. You can project these things, and you have the benefit of seeing things happen, especially if it's not going to be like what we saw, which is falling like off the cliff, right? You have the option of seeing where are things going. What is it that's retaining its value? What is losing its value? And that's where you have to focus on and make the decision that works best for you, right? You want to have things in your hand. You want to have the physical money. Yes, even if it's going to be a fiat currency that you're admitting it has maybe has left of a lifespan, that can of soup over there, right? But in the first stage of things getting very bad, or if you have to leave, if you have to evacuate very quickly, you want to take that with you. One of the things I personally learned is that, if you have to leave from wherever you are, there's things that you will be able to take and things you will not be able to take. So if you have your go back, right, you have your cash, you have a certain amount of precious metals, right? It gets heavy at that point, and you may not be able to look. There's an advantage in having things tangible in your hand. That's definitely something I want to have. And there's an advantage in having things like a gold IRA for long-term planning for when you retire, when it's not there in that building in which you're living. Why? Well, a perfect example of that is something like what's happening in LA right now with the LA fires. You're not saving anything from that. It's going to be because of the fires, because of the looters. If you have to move for whatever reason, someone breaking even into your house, things that have happened. And I know of people that went through that and lost everything. Everything they had was lost to that sort of thing. So you have all of these options available to you. do your research, use the resources available, and make the decision that works best for you. I'm more than happy to help you with any questions that you may have. Leave them in the comments below. I will be doing more videos like this, and I strongly encourage you to leave your questions. Hey, what about this? But what about this other thing? I'm thinking this way. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll do my best to help you, okay? Take care. See you next time.